Good morning, friends. Let's talk about the climate crisis today. Have a look. We got rain. It has been raining for over a week now, and we are under a disastrous situation. Well, out of all negativities, what is good that we have achieved out of our special way of gardening and landscaping methods? I am going to take you around the horticultural landscape and going to show you the real situation around us and how can we improve that further to face the environmental crisis and the climate crisis. Alongside my walkway, you're seeing the flood water, and the water is everywhere. The land is flooded, and many of our agricultural crops are filled with water. And there's water overflows, and they are overflowing, and they are flowing freely here and there, and we have many challenges to solve. Having said that, we all know that we are under a huge climate crisis, especially being an island in the tropical zone. We have the largest impacts probably. How do we manage? How do we escape? And what are the strategies we could imagine of in terms of dealing the climate challenges? Mostly climate challenges bring us unexpected rains and heavy floods. How do we deal for that? Today's topic is about it. You're seeing a landscape which we have designed and researched over many years so that this landscape is expected to deal the climate crisis. Alongside, I'm walking on the lake bank, one of the reservoirs. This reservoir is supposed to store rainwater for the dry season, and in the opposite side is the irrigation canal. When the water overruns the banks and the bunds, they are supposed to be going and channeling through these irrigation waterways towards the paddy fields. And with the heavy rains, now it is flooded. Well, heavy rains are quite normal all around the world nowadays, thanks to the climate crisis, which we can't deny or which we can't bypass given any reason or given any excuses. We have to act now. What we have acted so far has effectively helped us sustain the landscape and sustain our crops and sustain our agriculture than we expected or than we planned. The secret is the unique landscape which we have designed thoughtfully to facilitate rainwater floods and the stormwater channeling into the right directions without damaging the soil or without damaging the water paths, the paths that travel the water. In order to achieve that, we have used native plants. You see some of those native plants. We have been uprooted from these plants. They have been uprooted from where they have excessive growth, and they have been replaced. They have been placed here. And that was the one strategy we did in order to prepare ourselves for heavy rains. You're seeing sugarcane here, and sugarcane is one of the greatest plants which we use to produce rum, and at the same time they will help us avoid bank erosion. And alongside, among other native plants, we have lemongrass, we have savandra, we have ketela, various native names, and we have wild ginger as well. Wild ginger is one of our product candidates. Actually, they could be used for multiple. They could be used as a herb, and they could even be used as a shampoo. And we have grown alongside the banks of these waterways in order to prevent soil erosion. We have arecanut. They are economically important, as well as they are good. They have a good, strong root system, and that root system will prevent the soil getting eroded from the banks. And they are friendly, with water, and they can sustain, or rather they could live with water as well. Moreover, we have Lassia plus this Lassia, very named as Kohila locally, and that is a food which we could use and which we could eat actually daily. And many of these wild plants or many of these herbs, we could use them for our day-to-day garden salads as well. So they just not provide us as protectors from the soil erosion. They will also provide us create a food forest. On the other hand, we could use many of these plants in our garden salads for us to cook in various ways and to be included in our daily food. We are now running towards the paddy field. After a huge flood, and maybe after 30 years, this is said to be one of the greatest river floods that the villages faced. Still, our land is good. Compared to the last year, we did many programs about the climate crisis and associated rain floods and the troubles relating to the stormwater. This time, we have improved our landscape in the paddy fields, and we have used some techniques so that we use tubes to get water and control irrigation for these paddy fields, and that has been working, which is quite successful and we can be happy about. And we are sharing this knowledge so that if you have a paddy field in your backyard, or if you have a paddy field at your home ground, this is what you got to do. Because if we can sustain a severe flood like this, like what we faced today and during the past week, I think we could face the climate crisis too. The deal among the methods that we use to sustain, among the methods that we use to get us safe was they are minimalistic, and they won't cost you much, but they need a lot of effort. Of course, they need some kind of thinking, and they need planning and preparation, but they could be easily done. This is an example that we have successfully done it. This is a proving ground that we have successfully solved some of those flooding issues which we were suffering for years and years. Now, with this landscape and with our unique way of designing waterways and the landscape, thinking about the movement of the water, thinking about floodwater escape paths, has been helpful. At the same time, among the various fields, we use tubes to connect each field with one another. That has been a good strategy as well. We use actually PVC tubes. They are buried alongside the banks of the fields, and then they will control the waterfall to the paddy field, and that has been very effective. If you get a big huge water flow into the paddy field, you can't control. But if you allow a small tube to irrigate your paddy field, and if you allow the remaining water to escape around the paddy field, then your paddy field could still sustain and stay protect without getting heat damage from the flood water. See, this is the ideal example. Now, if you look at the levels of water, the water elevation is higher in the water escape path, but not in the paddy field, which means we have handled the escape water or the flood water correctly, and we don't let the flood water coming into the paddy field. Instead, we let the flood water goes around the paddy field. You're seeing that, and these are little things that we could get ourselves ready to heavy rains, because we will not deny unexpected rains. Being in the tropical part, being living in the tropical parts of the world, and we are in the middle of a climate crisis, so we would not expect some predictable climate patterns like we enjoyed during the past decades. Now everything going to be changed and going to be very unpredictable. All what we got to do is get ourselves ready with the right strategies. That's it for today. Have a great day, guys. Thank you very much. Bye bye.